This here is my new smoker, the Traeger Ironwood 885. And yeah, it's a pellet smoker, I know. I love traditional old school barbecue, but I got 4 kids now. And I need something easy in my life, and I'm thinking this might fill the void. I mean, come on, look, you turn it on, set the temperature, and with Traeger's Wi-Fi technology, I can run this thing from my phone. Now, the Ironwood 885 has a temperature variance of 165 to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. It also comes with Traeger's coveted Super Smoke, which purportedly adds more smoke flavor to your meat when run at temperatures at or below 225. And with its upper and lower decks, it offers 885 square inches of cooking surface. That's enough space for 10 chickens, 7 racks of ribs, 9 pork shoulders, and briskets, I don't know. It wasn't in the brochure, but probably 3 or 4, at least 1. So that's good. Plus, inside its hopper, there's a pellet sensor to tell me when the pellets are getting low. And in the back, there's a pellet clean out, so I can change pellets and take them out in between cooks, which is really helpful because here in the Carolinas, it gets awfully humid in the summer, and humidity will ruin pellets. Now, if you're a barbecue enthusiast like myself, and you watch YouTube, you know this smoker came out about 4 years ago, and it's slowly being phased out and replaced with the new Ironwood and Ironwood XL. But right now, it's still for sale at your local dealer or the Home Depot at a price point just below $1,500. And yeah, that's a lot of coin for a smoker, but I didn't pay that much. No partnership here, nobody sent me a grill, ever. I had to buy this out of my own money. Unfortunately, it came with a 6-hour drive to the coast there and back. Well, it's in there, but I think it's worth it. I think. At least we'll find out. I will say this thing is pretty solid, weighs in about 175 pounds, stands about 54 inches tall. It was a little cumbersome to get out of the car and put the wheels back on, but once I had it assembled and on its casters, it rolled around really easy. Initial setup was pretty simple too. Download the app, scan the QR code, answer a few questions, and you're on your way. And the initial startup, I gotta say, I was pretty pleased.
It's cooking from inside here.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see what it does?
It cooks these little pellets, see? Look.
What's that pellets for?
For gerbils. And as for the Super Smoke, where's the smoke? A quick search of the internet showed me that I was not alone.
Zero smoke and has been for an hour now.
I get no smoke besides startup.
Not producing much smoke.
No smoke at all. Even Super Smoke mode.
Zero smoke flavor.
But you know, there is something missing.
For the Pro Series, as you notice, they've got the smokestack on here. What this does is it gives you a true smoke flavor.
No, that's not it. Truth is, the 885 could be in fact producing an ultra clean, thin blue smoke. I don't know. What I do know is that old and low quality pellets and a dirty fire pot will negatively affect smoke production, and it seems like the 885 already knows that. Vacuuming a grill is definitely foreign to me, but it's common general maintenance for any pellet cooker owner. And since this one is used, it's in need of a bit more TLC. It's hard to see. There's a lot of debris back here. I think this is in the back panel where the downward draft is, which is really rusty. So I might remove that and then clean it up, paint it, and put it back on. Well, they're all Phillips except for this guy. And this one's so rusted, she don't want to break free. These suckers won't come off unless I drill them out. It's ridiculous, man. As you can see, a lot of rust and dust in there. Go ahead and clean that out. It's supposed to be black. Let's try this again. Much better. Now with any smoker, it's always good to run a biscuit test. These help show how the smoker cooks and if or where any hot spots may exist. The evenness of the cooking of these biscuits was rather impressive, especially in the center where there's usually more radiant heat from the fire pot in pellet cookers. This may really be the result of Traeger's design of the 885 with its downdraft exhaust to make the air circulate inside, thereby creating convection. Of course, though, the only real way to test this thing is a brisket. This is a well-shaped 15-pound USDA Choice packer I got from Costco. Once it was trimmed, slathered with a mixture of mustard and pickle juice, I hit it with a standard 2-to-1 ratio of 16 mesh black pepper, coarse kosher salt, followed by an overnight dry brine. Now, pellet cookers, as you may be aware, do not typically produce much smoke flavor. So in order to maximize Traeger's super smoke feature, I needed to stretch the boundaries a bit and start this thing low, really low, at 180. This may seem drastic, and maybe it is, but it's not unheard of. Heath Riles did a video where he cooked a brisket at 190 for the first 12 hours, and Doug Scheiding of Road Cookers has a Texas brisket recipe on Traeger's own app in which he called for the running of the pit at 180 on Super Smoke for the first 10 to 12 hours. But after 7 hours, the internal temp was only in the 120s, so I topped off the hopper, increased the pit temp to 200, and went to bed. Okay, first look in 14 hours. Another 7 hours later, the internal temp was only in the 140s when it should have been in the 160s. And I have to assume the temperature being in the 20s overnight probably led to this problem. But the bigger question was, when did this thing break 140 degrees? I didn't know, but my best guess was somewhere between the 8th and 10th hour, which was well outside the USDA's food safety rule of 40 to 140 within 4 hours.
You opened this door to another dimension of time, of temperatures, of perishable food. You've now crossed into the danger zone.
Now, I'm sure there's some gray area for a sod cut of meat that's not been injected or tenderized and cooked inside an air temp of 175. But what is it? When is too low, too long?
Time to change this thing. Not impressed with Super Smoke thus far. Not impressed. Yeah, I'm gonna get to 250.
With the pit temp increased, things finally started to improve.
It started to darken up. Been a lot better than it was.
Roughly 8 hours later, with internal temp around 185, the brisket was wrapped up nicely, put back on the pit, which I increased to 275.
That's it. 40 pounds.
In the end, this thing was probe tender after a total cook time of 24 and a half hours. Crazy. And of course, after rest on the counter, it went into the warmer at 150 for the next 16 hours. Let's see how it turned out. Well, I gotta say, I was surprised. Decent bark, nice smoke ring. It stayed together, pulled apart nicely, and the smoke flavor, it was mild but there. And more importantly, I didn't get sick. But was it really safe? And was all that time and risk in Super Smoke worth it? I don't know. I guess I could always try another brisket. Trim, season, and dry brine into the 885, this time at 200 on Super Smoke. After 3 hours, the internal temp was around 110, 112, so I bumped it to 225. An hour later, we were in the 130s, and by the 5th hour, it finally broke the 140 barrier. In the end, this brisket didn't finish as good as the first one, but it was more about getting to the 140 mark in a period of time that was more reasonable. And that was my question. When is too low, too long? Because if I can cook a decent brisket on this thing, and it takes a long time, so be it. As long as it's safe. Because let me tell you, running this Traeger is almost too easy.
Now, as you can see, I have many grills and smokers. Probably too many if you ask my wife.
How many are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12.
Is that a lot?
Yeah.
And over the years, many people have come to me and said, hey, I want to get into barbecue. What kind of smoker should I buy? And one of the questions I ask back usually is, how much money you got? Because if they got the money, because they are expensive, pellet cookers are a great place to start. Now, sure, cooking with lump charcoal, burning splits of wood, shelving hot coals, all superior to pellets. But what a pellet cooker does is allows an individual to start at the basics. Without having to manage that fire, you can focus solely on temperature,
time, taste, tenderness, and appearance. And once you've mastered those fundamentals, then you can move on to managing live fire. Now, I didn't do it that way, and I'm getting a pellet cooker late in the game, but even this video, I had a lot of questions. And that's why I think a pellet cooker would be good for me, because not only will it help me make barbecue and good food for my family, which is growing and I don't have a lot of time, but the time that I do have, I can focus back on those fundamentals and take what I've learned there and move forward. So I will be making some videos with this particular cooker, and if you're curious how much I paid for it, only $375, which means all the grills you see and beyond, I never paid more than $400, and no, nobody's ever sent me a grill. So Traeger, if you're watching, call me. The deals are out there, people. Keep learning, keep cooking. See you next time.